Okay, medicinal chemistry. First one, we have to consider classification of drugs. Drugs are classified into three categories. Depends on their sources. Sources means in where the drugs are found. First one, natural drug. The drugs obtained from natural sources. As for example, plants, animals, which are natural sources. So drugs derived from natural sources are termed as natural drugs. As for example, penicillin. This is the structure of penicillin. Okay. Next one, the synthetic drug, the drugs which are synthesized in chemical lab. That is, we have to use chemical laboratory. As for example, hallucinogens. This. Okay. Next one, semi-synthetic drug. That is the natural drugs that are partly structurally modified. Their natural sources are natural. They are actually found from natural sources. That is, as for example, plants, as for example, bark, so on. But they should be modified. They should be modified, structurally modified. They are not directly used. As for example, LSD. This is the structure of LSD. Now, we can also classify drugs into four categories. First one, by pharmacological effect, by chemical structure, by target system, and by site of actions. First one, by pharmacological effect. That is, this method deals with grouping of drugs according to their biological effect. Because from drug to drug, one drug to other drug, that is the biological effect are varies. So that's why in the basis of this we can classify drugs. Second one, by chemical structure, the methods deals with the grouping of drugs with a common skeleton. So the structure having this type of classification based on the common skeleton. So if we categorize in one drug in one category, so these all drugs of the same class are having the same common skeletal structure. Okay. Suppose this is the general structure of steroidal drug. Okay. So this is, if we consider all over the drugs which are actually the steroid drugs are all having the same structural features. Okay. Now we have to consider by target system. This method deals with compounds which are classed according to whether they affect target system in the body, usually involving neurotransmitter. So by target system means the classification can be there due to the basis of in where the target system in the body, the effect of target system in the body, that is which target system are affected in the body which are involving in neurotransmitter. On the basis of this we can classify drugs in various categories. Okay. Next one, by site of action. That is, in this method compounds are grouped according to the enzyme or receptor, okay, with which they should be react. Okay. So always remember, when drugs are input in our body, so they should be reacting in some particular site. So this site may be the receptor, this site may be the enzyme, maybe this site other things are there. So on the depend on it in which site the drugs are react by the we have to classify in many categories, and this type of nomenclature are termed as by site of action. Okay. Now good drugs are maybe considered as medicine. We already discussed, that is, all medicines are administered form of drugs only. So when medicine having no harmful effect or no toxicity and no side effects and fulfill the all criteria of human health, and having therapeutic effect, and obviously they having government approval, they are termed as medicine. The all drugs are termed as, on that case, medicine, when they having the government approval and as well as negligible harmful effects or side effects. So if the drugs with having government approval, it must be devoid of all side effects and only target the disease and be totally safe and easy to take, can be termed as medicine. So the drugs which having the government approval, okay, and must be devoid of all side effect, no side effect at all. If side effects are there, but these are negligible, okay, and only affect the target of the disease and be totally safe and easy to take, are termed as medicine. Now penicillin known to be the safest and most effective antibacterial agent, but nowadays this also have some drawbacks. That is, it has never been able to kill all bacteria. Actually, penicillin are not able to kill all bacteria, because as the years have gone by, more and more bacteria have become resistant, because more and more bacteria having the resistance or prevent themselves from the action of penicillin. Okay. Now we have to consider there are other medicine which are more danger. More danger, that means morphine. Morphine also a more danger because it is extended analgesic. This is the morphine structure. Okay. So it suffers from serious side effect of a respiratory depression can be there and addiction can be there. That's why morphine is a danger medicine. Okay, actually it is now it is not termed as medicine. Okay. Structure-based drug discovery. The basic rule for during discovery is to identify the drug target. First, we have to identify the drug target in where drug should be effect. Okay, in where drug should be react. So, in majority of available drugs have protein molecules at their targets, because in our body all or most of the molecules are biomolecular protein molecules. Okay, so drug which effect on the enzyme or receptor, and most of the cases enzyme receptor are made by protein. So drugs also have the protein molecule at their targets for better binding, for better interaction. The use of malic acid as drug target in drug discovery but is limited due to toxicity, difficulty in achieving high specificity, and etc. So available market drugs in USA are up to 21,000 registered only. Okay. Now we have to know variety of drugs. First one, antacid. An antacid is a substance which neutralizes stomach acidity. When we having the many food and which are not good for our health and which produce stomach acidity at a extreme range, on that case we have to use some antacid, and this antacid relieved or neutralizes the stomach acidity and is used to relieve heartburn, indigestion, or an upset stomach. Okay, so we have to know this type of drugs or medicines that should be used to neutralize the stomach acidity and relieve heartburn, indigestion, and upset stomach. They are termed as antacid. Okay, example is histamine. This is histamine structure. Okay, histamine. Now we have to know anti-allergic. From the name we can assume, we can think about this, we can guess that this term is related to allergy. Okay, so that's why we termed as anti-allergic. So anti-allergic substance prevents or relieves allergies. Okay, for prevention and relieveness of allergies, we have to use anti-allergic substance. An allergic drug can be used to relieve high fever when due to allergy. Sometimes some people are having allergy due to dust allergy, due to mango, due to many type of allergies from food, from dust can be there. So sometimes the allergy is extreme range and they got fever due to allergy. Okay, so this fever also controlled by this anti-allergic substance also. Allergy also reduce and this fever also reduce. Okay, and other allergic reactions. Okay, anti-allergic drugs temporarily relieve the symptoms of allergic reaction. If temporary allergic reactions there, that should be temporarily relieved by the anti-allergic drugs. Example, brompheniramine. This is the structure of brompheniramine. Okay, this is the example. Okay. Now we have to use tranquilizer. A tranquilizer to a drug which is designed for the treatment of anxiety. Many people having the anxiety property, fear, that is must be many people having the fear, tension, agitation, disturbance of mind. Many people do not have the good sleeping time in the night. Okay, many people will be awake in the night. Okay, due to their disturbance of the mind, because their mind are their mind is full of thoughts, so that's why they are not having the good sleep in the night. Okay, so disturbance of the mind and specificity to reduce state of anxiety and tension. Examples are iproniazid. Okay, this is the structure of iproniazid. Next one, analgesic. A drug is used to relieve pain, for painkiller, that should be termed as analgesic. Aspirin is an example of analgesic. This is the structure. Now when we consider this is as a ball and stick model, If we know that is chemistry ball and stick model, that is when ball, for better understanding the structure, we can connect many balls by the stick. Okay, and by using different color of the ball, we can say this is the carbon atom, this is the oxygen atom, this is the hydrogen atom, so on. Now these all black balls are carbon. Okay, these white balls are hydrogen. Okay, and these red balls are oxygen. By this way we can justify this structure. Okay, next one, antimicrobial, a drug used to treat a microbial infection. If any microbial infection is there, for this case we can use the drug is termed as antimicrobial. From the name, antimicrobial is a general term because it is used generally, and that refers to a group of drugs that includes basically antibiotics, antifungals, antipathogens, antivirals. Okay, if you termed as antimicrobial, that should be termed as general term, because all the antibiotics, all the antifungals, antipathogens, antivirals are considered as antimicrobial in general term. Okay, if we consider classification, that is we are females, males, but actually all females, males are classified as general, they are humans, right? Similar things. Antibiotics is a substance produced by microorganism, that should be produced from microorganism, that is the source of antibiotics is microorganism. Okay, and has capacity of inhibiting the growth and even of destroying other microorganism by the action of very small amount. So what is the definition? That is antibiotics, the source is microorganism, they produce from microorganism, but they having the capacity of inhibiting or the destroying the other microorganism by using the small amount of antibiotics. Okay, example penicillin. This is the structure of penicillin. Okay, next we have to consider antiseptics. Antiseptics are antimicrobial substances that are applied to living tissue or skin to reduce the possibility of infection. Suppose in our skin any harmful things can be fall off, so we having the pain, we having the problematic situation, so we have to use antiseptics as an antimicrobial substance that should be applied to living tissue, because our skin also living and having living cells, and to reduce the possibility of infection. It should be destroyed the possibility of forming infection in future days. Okay, so example terpinol, and we have to consider terpinol structure is this. Okay, that is this type of structure is terpinol. Now we have to consider disinfectant, an agent that destroys the vegetative form of harmful microorganisms. Any vegetative forms of harmful microorganisms such as bacteria, fungi, that should be destroyed by disinfectant. That is example ibuprofen. There should be some difference between the antiseptics and disinfectant. That is antiseptic used for living cells. Okay, living cells, living body, skin, but disinfectant always use non-living materials, because the effect of destructive nature of the disinfectants is more than antiseptic. Okay, antipyretic drug, this drug which reduces the temperature of the body in fever, they are termed as antipyretic drug. As for example paracetamol, we know in fever our body temperature going on rises, so that's why for reduces the temperature we have to use antipyretic drug, as for example paracetamol. This is the structure of paracetamol, that is benzene in para position OH and other position NH, COOH group is there. Okay, that should be termed as paracetamol. Okay, so we have to know the summary. That is, first one, classification of drugs. Drugs are classified into three categories on the basis of source: natural drug, synthetic drug, semi-synthetic drug. By the name terminology, we can say what is the definition before going the definition. Okay, this is the other method to predict, that is to definition of the term. Okay, if any exam there should be definition and not memorized or not remember, if we are not remember the definition, we can retain something about the term, because if we analyze the term and think about it, that is what is said by the term, we can justify it, or most often we can rewrite the actual definition of the term. Okay, if we consider natural drug, so there should be the drug which produced from the natural sources are termed as natural drug. That should be derived from the only term, that is natural drug term only. We do not need the whole definition always. Okay, that is as per plants, animals. Example is penicillin. Penicillins are most often are found from natural sources. That is, we know Alexander Fleming, that is from Penicillium notatum species derived penicillin. Penicillin are various types, penicillin B, penicillin G, various types are there. We can modify by varying the R group. Okay, this is the generalized structure. Now synthetic drug, that should be synthesized in chemical lab, that should be artificially, as per example hallucinogen. This is the structure of hallucinogen. Okay. Next one, semi-synthetic, that should be the sources and natural sources, but they should be partly structurally modified. Their structure should be modified and then they should be used as a drug. Okay, as per example LSD. Next one, we can also classify drug into 4 categories. They are termed as by pharmacological effect, by chemical structure, by target system, by site of action. By pharmacological effect, we can say this method deals with grouping of drugs according to their biological effect, because drugs, all drugs or medicine, we can say medicine, they are not have the same properties, same biological effect. Okay. Next one, chemical structure. This method deals with the grouping of drugs with a common skeleton. That is, if we categorize the many classification on the basis of chemical structure, in each of the class having the same skeletal structure. Okay, as for example, this is the steroidal structure. Okay, this is the steroidal structure. Next we have to go, that is by target system. This depends on the compounds are class according to in which target system are affected in the body, which are usually involving neurotransmitters. Okay. Next we have to know by site of action. In this method, compounds are grouped according to the enzyme or receptor that should be interact. So interaction is must be in that case important. By site of action means the drugs which are taken, that should be definitely interact with any some of the site of part of the body. That maybe they interact with enzyme, maybe they act with receptor, and that should be depend on it. So that is according to the enzyme or receptor in which they bind, we can justify the nomenclature by site of action. Okay. Now good drugs are maybe considered if a drug which having government approval, it must be devoid of all side effect. If having the side effect, that should be negligible, not so much, but only target the disease and be totally safe and easy to take, that should be termed as medicine. Okay. And penicillin known as the safest and most effective antibacterial agent, but having the some drawbacks. That should be what? Because they are not able to kill all bacteria, because when the years gone, more and more bacteria that should be become resistant, become able to protect from them the action of penicillin. Okay. Now we have to consider there are other medicines, like for example, which are have to be considered as danger. Actually in the nowadays they are not used as medicine, are termed as morphine, because of their side effect due to respiratory depression, due to addiction property. Okay, this is the structure of morphine. Now structure-based drug discovery, we have to consider first identify the drug target. In majority of available drugs have protein molecules at their target, and the use of malic acid as drug target in drug discovery limited due toxicity, difficult in achieving high specificity, etc. Now we have two variety of drugs. First one, antacid. Antacid is used to neutralize the stomach acidity. If stomach acidity is high, and due to this we have to face heartburn, indigestion or upset of stomach, we have to use antacid. As for example, histamine. Anti-allergic drugs, that should be the anti-allergic substance prevents or relieves allergies, and also use relieve the high fever and other allergic reactions. Anti-allergic drugs temporarily relieve the symptoms of allergic reaction. As for example, that is brompheniramine. Okay. Next one, tranquilizer. A tranquilizer to a drug which is designated for the treatment of anxiety, fear, tension, agitation, disturbance of mind, of all over things. Basically to reduce state of anxiety and tension. Many people face the highest level of anxiety, tension. That's why they are not sleep at the night time. So they having the most serious effect of the anxiety. Okay, so there must be sometimes tranquilizer are used. That is iproniazide is the example. So analgesic, a drug is used to relieve pain. Aspirin is an example of analgesic. Okay. Antimicrobial, that should be used for Microbial infection. Antimicrobial is a general term because antibiotics, antifungus, antiprotozoas, antibiotics all are concluded or are included in antimicrobial term. Okay, so first we have to consider antibiotics. Antibiotics is a substance that produce from microorganism but but able to capacity of inhibiting the growth and even destroying the other microorganism by the action of very small amounts. Okay, as for example penicillin. Now we have to know antiseptic. Antiseptic are antimicrobial substance that should be applied to living tissue or skin to reduce the possibility of infection. As for example terpeneol. Okay, disinfectant, an agent that should be destroy the vegetative form of harmful microorganisms such as bacteria or fungi. As for example ibuprofen. Okay, now antibiotic, this drug which reduces the temperature of the body. In favor they are termed as antibiotic drug paracetamol. So up to this we have to consider all over things, but when we taking any type of medicine as a drug, we have to need the doctor prescription and doctor treatment. Otherwise we do not use any type of medicine without having the perfect knowledge about this. Okay, we have to need doctor prescription and doctor's treatment. Okay, otherwise we do not use any type of things. Okay, if we use, we have to be pay for this. We have to be face some side effect. We have to be face some health result. We have to be face some life problems. Okay, so we have to use doctor prescription, doctor's uh, treatment. Then after that we may use by learning from the doctor. Without doctor we do not use all of this. Okay, that all the lectures is based on the knowledge only, not for application. Okay, up to this.